What's shaken bacon, people? What's going on? I hope everybody is well, happy, and healthy, and I hope you guys stay that way. Also, hello to the main person who I'm talking to in this video, which is the main man Sui, if you ever watched this video, that is. This is Casual Kaiyuki, and today I'm presenting a very weird video. I'm a nobody, by the way. I just wanted to point out something that's very important for me, at least, and Lars mains, probably important for them as well. Before we dive into the subject, I just want to mention a really fast thing about my Tekken background. I played it since I was a kid, since Tekken 3. So anyways, when I got into Tekken 7, that's where I got really good. I started with Lars, of course, but then I switched to Claudio because I didn't like what they did to Lars. I left Tekken and now I'm back at season 4, which is roughly around last week or 2 weeks right now. I'm trying to get in depth into Tekken. Now that's where I came to your videos, main man. I've been watching Tendo. I really love the both of you guys. You guys are amazing, very inspiring, and it makes me really want to get better at the game, which I did. I saw significant changes in my gameplay. I'm still learning though the frames, punishes. I've seen myself rising from the yellow ranks to the I am right now revert ruler, which I'm very happy about. Oh my god. I know this is a small thing because I'm a new player, but it's very big for me. Now the main thing is I came to your video yesterday when you were talking about the difficulty of the characters. I just wanted to talk about what you said about Lars, and I want to make some points which we will talk about. And there's nothing hostile. I'm a new player, I'm a noob, I know I'm a nobody, but I just wanted to talk about it anyways. Let's just dive into the subject and talk about it all together. Alrighty, so let's just dive into the subject regarding Lars. Lars, before I talk about anything, first, main man Sui, you said in your character difficulty tier list yesterday.
I feel like all of these characters are designed to be easy.
As well as?
Yeah, and of course everyone wants to argue that their main is hard.
Alright, you did mention after this that this is all based on your opinion, and you're a Tekken professional, I believe. So I think you're probably right about most of the characters, but I have a little comment. I know some Lars mains maybe disagree, but some of the others probably will agree. But the thing is, regardless, let me talk about my experience. The thing is, I don't think, this is the main idea, I don't think that Lars is designed to be easy. Because, as I said earlier, that I'm trying to get better into the game. As I was trying to get better in, understanding frames, how do I execute at the right time. As I am rising up into the ranks, as I said earlier, I started to see more and more experienced people and more really good people and really good players that know how to destroy and shut down Lars. Maybe it's because of my game plan, but the thing is, regardless, I think that Lars' power comes like into his mind games, as you mentioned somewhere in the video, in your season 3 tier list video. Now what I mean about Lars getting shut down is not completely shut down, but they limit his movement so much when I face the good and really good players who are very high on reflexive. That's even a word, I'm not sure. But anyways, when they react to things very fast, as soon as they see Lars getting into a stance, he's immediately punished in any way that Lars can get into his stance. Now here's some examples I'm going to show you. I'm picking Paul, which is his down forward too. Let me show you example number 1. Look, as soon as they see Lars getting into the stance, they immediately launch him. Any way that Lars tries to get into his stances, he will immediately be launched. Here's another example. Look at this. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? You try to get this very fast? No. Alright, example number 3. No. And there are characters that are even very fast to the point where, like, even if they start to respect the power crush, they will immediately duck it. They will also block the low. That's maybe the main game where you can launch them. But what they will do instead, they will just do this. This is 1-1-2. As soon as they can. They can interrupt your power crush. I don't understand why this happens, but it just does. I saw it so many times, I faced it so many times. So even if I decide to not even do the power crush, any other move, they will still interrupt me because Lars cannot get into his stances right there. Now this where Lars actually hit a wall, honestly, and tries to change his game plan. Now, I'm gonna tell you something that you said it yourself. You literally said that yourself, but the thing is, it's on a different character. Yeah, sure, I'm lacking experience and frames and stuff, and how to execute and my movement, all of that, but I'm talking about character-wise. Now, the character that you mentioned is Brian, and you said this.
Arguably the most difficult execution in the game and a very complicated game plan. And for beginner and intermediates, it's like, you know, you hit green ranks and suddenly people are blocking your snake edge and they go, oh.
That's exactly how I feel right now with Lars. Now, when I started, you know, getting better in ranks and, you know, starting to face better people, now, whenever I go into stance, I just get launched like an idiot, honestly. And I just be like, oh, exactly like your face like that. I'm like, oh, what do I do now? Yeah, I changed my plans, but the thing is, Lars is a poker character. He pokes a lot, sure, but his execution, his launchers are very difficult, even though you said something also applies to my case here.
Incredibly unorthodox. His down forward 1 is 15 frames and it's a Gatling string. He doesn't have a down forward 2, he doesn't have a hop kick, he doesn't have a down forward 1 check.
Alright, now see, these 4 things that you mentioned, Lars as well doesn't have them. Now let's talk about the moves one by one. And by the way, I just want to clear this out. I'm not comparing Lars to Brian. I'm not doing that. I'm just talking about the difficulty of the character and something that my boy, my man Sui, that you also mentioned this in Brian, but there are also similarity of difficulties that Lars is facing as well. This is what I'm trying to say, not comparing the character tier between Lars and Brian. I'm not doing that. I'm just talking about how the execution of the character is really hard and he's not designed to be easy. So anyways, you said that his down forward 1 is 15 frames, which I agree it's slow-ish for a down forward 1. And here it is. So there we go, 15 frames, and then after that it's 10, 10, 10, which is completely fine. Now Lars's down forward 1 is 13 frames, but the problem is the difference between them, that Brian, you don't know when he will stop his, you know, thing. Maybe after 2, after his 2nd, after his 3rd, you never know. And if you make a mistake, he will fuck you up. Now the next thing that you said is
he doesn't have a down forward 2.
Lars does have a down forward 2. And it's also a high crushing down forward 2, which I believe it's a really great move, but it's a 16 frame. Most characters, I believe, I'm not sure, I'm new to this, but I believe most characters at 15, but that doesn't matter since we get the perk of crushing highs, I believe. So that's kind of good. But I cannot argue about that. And then the next thing that you said is...
doesn't have a hop kick.
Now Lars also doesn't have a hop kick except for his fucking hop kick, but it's except that when you use this and they block it, you immediately go to hell and die and just hate Lars, hate everything, and hate playing this game, because when you get blocked, you can literally just, you know, I'm not even sure how many frames do you go at. There you go, 26. You can literally do anything. You can open his butt cheeks and do whatever you want after that. It's just not like any other hop kick. It's very risky, and I don't think it's a good move at all, except for panicking, I guess. Now that's just a little comparison between the two. You said these things that most characters have, but actually Lars doesn't have, and you said Lars was an easy character to use. Not just that, there is also other things that they're probably more than what I'm going to say, but there's also Lars's Hell Sweep, which is forward forward 3. Yeah, forward forward 3-4. The thing is, first, it's probably the only Hell Sweep that doesn't let the character go on the ground. It's your opponent stands still. I guess having the frame advantage +3 is actually a good thing, but it still stands to be a bad Hell Sweep. Doesn't pressure your opponent that much, at least. And you also mentioned that he's very weak to sidestep right, I believe. So there is that as well. And there's a lot of things that you can say that Lars, you know, have to pay attention to before he gets wrecked and go into oblivion and hell. And then the last thing that you said as well, which is this.
And to really open people up in high-level play, you have to make them fear the taunt.
To really open people up, you have to let them have fear the taunt, which I agree, of course. But what does Lars have to make my opponent fear him? There's nothing, except maybe for the counter hit launchers that he got. recently. Regardless of that, it's just like, even if I do the counter hit launchers, when they block it, I'm on minus, so I will probably get punished, at least with a 1-2 punish. Now they both have 14 frames launchers. As I said, I shouldn't really compare the characters, but I know that both of them have 14 frames, I believe, 14 frame launcher, which is, this one is for Lars's, and Brian is this one. Now the problem is, and the difference is, when you block Brian's thing, it's safe, completely safe. But Lars is not ever safe because I guess it's medium. Maybe they made it that way because you can duck Brian's one. But the thing is, look at this. You're at minus 18, so I think that's launch punishable. And I don't think you can delay it. So there's no delay. Like even on hit, can you delay it? Yeah, you can't. So you either do it or not. I guess just do it as a punish. I guess I understand that. As I said, I'm trying to improve. I'm still not perfect. I'm never gonna be perfect. I'm still a scrub, low tier player trying to get good at least. Which of course, by the way, you know more than me in Tekken. But I know Lars so much. I also watch Tendo, and I really love that guy. And he plays Lars. He mains him. I see him, and I see how he plays. He technically sometimes faces the same problems as me, but he still made it to the top tier because he's a better player than me, obviously, which I'm trying to get better right now. But this is what I wanted to point out on your difficulty tier list on just Lars, because I don't think Lars is a very easy character or designed to be easy in that matter, because I believe in high ranked, everything Lars does is just, he's very limited to his moveset. Like, he's so limited. I know, of course, you shouldn't abuse the stance or blah blah blah, but he gets a really good arsenal when he gets into his stance, which he almost cannot in the higher rank, is what I'm trying to say. He also doesn't have any pressuring attacks to like let the opponent go minus on frame. Like back then I thought that this was a pressuring tool, but now when I learned frames, I'm actually at minus 12, so at least he can poke me with this, at least, so 8 damage. But there are other characters who can probably punish at 12 frames while crouching, or like Murdoch, like up forward 1-2. He can punish that if I do this to him. It's on block, that is, at least. Well, briefly in the end, I just want to say that Lars is not an easy character to play. Like, I know it's your opinion, all of that, and I'm not, as I said in the beginning, that I'm not trying to justify that my main is the hardest, you can't play it, you know, I'm not saying that. But I just wanted to comment on the fact that you decided that Lars is an easy designed character and he's easy to play. Sure, he's easy and you will dominate people at the beginner or like a beginner intermediate level, but when you get into the high play, Lars is very limited to 10 moves or like 11 moves. He can't do much, honestly. And he has a very hard time to open people up. So anyways, without further ado than this, thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Mansfi, if you watch this, that is. So anyways, this is Casual Kaiyuki, and it's time for me to get good, and it's time for me to upload the series of me getting good and trying to get out of the intermediate level to the next level. So I guess without further ado than this, I'm going to see you guys in the next series.
Keep it casual on the block, keep it casual at the spot, keep it casual when it down, keep it casual in the field, keep it casual when it's still, keep it casual, my whole crew, keep it casual. If you step into the club, we'll turn you to a casualty. Yeah.